Shalom, Weston, my friend. I'm going to try to do these videos, and as I do each one, I'll try to keep it, definitely below 6 minutes, Be'ezerat Hashem, God willing. First, I'm going to give an introduction on the word Hebrew itself, Ivrit. I will pick up the phone and go over it on the board. I'll give an example of the root of the word Hebrew. We'll talk about the aspect of the Hebrew letters beginning. Every single Hebrew letter technically begins with the Hebrew letter Yud, which is the 10th letter in the alphabet of the Hebrew language. And then I will show you how Hebrew, actually each letter is a construct of other letters coming together. And I'll give you a beautiful example of that as well. So that's kind of the introduction. So I'm going to pick up the phone and go over here, and I want to show you in the first video, like what's going on over here. Okay, so let me just get up here and let's get started. So when we come here, we're going to see the word Ivrit here. Ein, Vet, Resh, Yud, and Tav. That is Ivrit. It means Hebrew. The root of this word is Avar. Ein, Vet, Resh. And it means to pass or cross, like to cross over, go through, undergo, or switch to. The word Ivri just means like a Hebrew person, like Avraham. So in the Torah, in the Bible, it says Avraham ha-Ivri, Avraham the Hebrew. So let me just comment on that real quick. So here, the concept of Hebrew in the Jewish tradition is the ability to be able to cross over from the physical dimension to the spiritual dimension through speaking of the language, contemplating it, meditating upon it, giving the person the ability in order to connect to Shemayim, which in Hebrew, in English, it means heaven. So this is very important. So to know about the Hebrew language, we also have the traditions that say, like in the book of Yovel, or the book of Jubilees, right, that says that the Hashem, God, told the angel Gabriel to give Avraham and open up his mind to understand the Hebrew language and give him the gift of understanding the language. The Hebrew language is a priestly language. It's called Lashon HaKodesh, the Holy Tongue. Now, with that being said, we're going to look now at the Hebrew letter Yud. Okay, I put 3 up here for a reason, but the Hebrew letter Yud is the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's associated with the Hebrew word Zera. Zera means seed. Why is it called that? Because technically every single letter that's written in a kosher Torah scroll on the first 5 books, technically every single letter begins with the letter Yud. Yud is literally like a dot, a nikud, right? And it's also called seed, Zera. Now, when the Torah is being written with this Yud, the number 10 is important because 10 in Hebrew represents shlemut. It represents completion. And even a community is considered 10. That's why when Avraham is speaking with the angels and speaking with God, talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, if there's 50 righteous people in the city, he gets all the way down to the number 10, and then after that he stops. So that's why in the synagogue, for you to be able to say certain prayers out of the prayer book, you have to have 10 religious men in the synagogue in order to have a minyan, or to have 10. That's considered a kihila. That's considered a community. So 10 is very important, and it has the power of creation within it. It is also the first letter in God's holy name. And that's how come when I wrote here, I put the Lamed, because 10, 10, and 10 equals 30, and that is equal to the Hebrew letter Lamed. And Lamed is interesting because in our custom and tradition, Lamed is always associated with limud, which means learning, and also Lamed is associated with lev, the heart. And physiologically, like if a man, obviously, if he's being tested in order to have children, they test the condition of his heart for the morphology within the body for the seed for him and his wife to have children. So you see, the Yud is very, very holy and very, very important. And so the Yud carries a lot of great significance. So much so, the 3 Yuds that I put up here, the reason why I did that is because in the Aaronic blessing of Aaron that Moses tells him to put upon the children of Israel, there are 3 stanzas. Each stanza begins with the Hebrew letter Yud. I think I've marked the place here. I'll try to show you in the Siddur here. Hopefully it's showing up here. So when it says here, it talks about the blessing. It starts right here. Here's the first Yud. Yevarechecha, right? Adonai v'yishmerecha, right? Here's the second Yud. Ya'er Adonai panav ilecha v'chunecha. And then the third Yud is Yisa Adonai panav ilecha v'yasim lecha shalom, right? So may God bless you and protect you. May God shine his face toward you and be gracious to you. And may God lift his face towards you and grant you peace. Okay, so you can see the letter Yud is very important. And I just want to finish off, and hopefully this will catch everything here. I think it goes up to 6 minutes and 50 seconds. I want to show you real quick about the construct of the Hebrew letters, how other letters come together. So here you have the letter Aleph. It's the first letter of the alphabet, and it's constructed of 2 Yuds and a Vav. Yud, Yud, Vav. 10 plus 10 plus 6 is 26. The first place you see a Hebrew letter manifest itself is the essence of that letter. That is in the word Bereshit bara Elohim, and God created. Here's the word Elohim. So Aleph is specifically associated with God in a very special way. Elohim is always associated with nature. When we go down to God's 4-letter name, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, when we add up 10, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, Hey is 5, we get 26. So you see that the Aleph is specifically associated with God's holy name. And that is it.